Is this what they mean when they talk about women being hysterical? Vaush, why do you do... Dude, I'm sorry. Vaush and Destiny are so alike. I want to see Vaush declare how he's a sexist. Also, did you guys see what Vaush tweet? He was going back and forth arguing on Twitter today. I replied to one of them. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Here it is. Look at this. Here it is. Let's go back. Let's go through this Vaush Twitter thread, okay? Let's go through this Twitter thread before we watch this TYT segment. So, I cannot stress enough how... so this is the original tweet. We talked about this last stream. Men don't fall down the alt-right MRA pipeline because the left isn't doing good enough outreach. They choose to subscribe to the fascist ideology because they have an investment in maintaining their position in the social hierarchy, and the liberation of other groups threatens that. You can acknowledge that there are certainly people within the alt-right and MRA pipeline, definitely people manipulating them into it, who, like, the only reason they're part of it is because of they want to maintain the social hierarchy. But a lot of these men are lonely. A lot of these people are being conned. And a lot of these people are being misled legitimately. While ultimately it is their responsibility to choose a political ideology that is not destructive like the alt-right. 100%. People are subject to the conditions they find themselves in. There's a reason why we hold people accountable when they join a gang like the Bloods, the Crips, MS-13, and they go and they murder somebody. Even though we know that the economic and sociological conditions they were placed under put them probably under direction to join one of these gangs, right? But that we see that in our reaction as a society isn't like, puh, what scum. Actually, sadly it is, but it should be, god damn, what a terrible person. We need to build conditions to make less people like that in the future, to stop putting young men in these positions where they feel like their only option is to join a gang or anything. You get the idea I'm getting at. And so I treat that I have the same view when it comes to people joining radical political ideologies like this, is that we need to create the conditions that makes it so less people don't go seek answers with the MRA and the alt-right. Radical far-right groups, and this is also true with the far left, usually take over when the conditions in the country continues to decrease and it gets really bad. So we need to create conditions that puts less people in a position where they think this is the solution for my problems. That's my position. Anyway, Vaush responds saying, I cannot stress enough how important it is to understand that 12-year-old white boys on Twitch are not being pulled into fascism because of some Machiavellian desire to preserve and expand their privileges. It's because the right talks to them and the left doesn't. I do think the left talks to them. Hi, 12-year-old white boy. But I by the way, this is for 18-year-olds. This is an adults channel. I understand what he's getting at here, and I mostly agree with it. Yeah, no, I would say I basically agree with Vaush here, actually. I have no pushback on Vaush whatsoever. We can finish the thread, though. Leftists and progressives have absolutely no idea how unnecessarily repellent they come off to so many people, and they get angry at the idea of being a more effective social movement because they don't want to share their social spaces with people who might have gone another way. Leftists will write master's theses on the effects of socioeconomic addictions. Oh my god, he stole my argument! God damn it, Vaush, you took a time machine to steal my argument. Leftists will write master's theses on the effect of socioeconomic conditions on crime, and then shrug when tens of millions more young fall to fascism because their boy brains must just be innately fascist and they choose to be evil, and there's no way this could have been prevented. This is always a good topic to feel smug over because the replies and quotes are saturated with people who literally think we should care more about men's problems than offer them advice as a dog whistle for we should build a Fourth Reich, thus proving the problem. Now let's read the response. Vaush is a worthless scoundrel. Scoundrel, what a word, man. I pumped right back into like 1800s Victoria, Britain. Oh my goodness. Scoundrel, what a scoundrel. And we all know it, But it's important to point out, do we all know it? Okay. But it's important to point out what he's actually doing here and what all men who have pushed this line recently are doing. They are blaming women for being killed, raped, and exploited. They are blaming feminism for misogyny. Can I be honest? I have never heard a dumber reconnection of like events than this woman just said. Actually, what's that one image? I've seen this Twitter reply a million times. It's really funny. Let me see if I can bring this out quickly, because I think it encapsulates perfectly what's wrong with this. I can't believe I'm IRL meme post. One moment, I've completely melted my brain. Where is it? Here it is. This is immediately what I thought of. Right here. Twitter, the only place where where well-articulated sentences still get misinterpreted. You can say, I like pancakes, and somebody will say, so you hate waffles? No, bitch, that's a whole new sentence. What the fuck is you talking about? What is this woman talking about? Vaush said, hey, we should reach out to young men more so they don't become racist and hate women. And this woman interprets that as, wow, is he blaming women for being raped, exploited, and killed? They are blaming feminism for misogyny? How do you take Vaush's words and interpret it this way? I honestly don't know. I'm Midnight Dylan. I'm being targeted by the feminist elite right now. That's what's happening. I'm being targeted. Immoral, morally corrupt, bankrupt men. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. MLS Smith 013. Wow, look at this amazing stream quality. I really appreciate how my camera shut down 10 times during today's stream. It's really helpful, actually. Anyway, this person is unbelievably bad faith. When you really break down the sexual politics of this shit, it becomes apparent that what is actually happening here is the ideological justification for the brutal oppression of women. It's rape culture, it's victim blaming, it's various God damn it, like not a single like important thing she said in the entirety of both of these posts. She didn't respond to anything Vaush has said. She just made up an imaginary person and responded to whatever they said, because this is not at all a response to anything Vaush has said. It's just brain dead rambling. Vaush responds to this, no, I'm not. Maybe one day you'll understand intersectional feminism. So Vaush decided he would go bullfighting today. He would take out the red cape, look at this woman and just say, ole, ole, and just push her buttons. Understandable, given the completely worthless post this is. Then somebody tweeted something. Apparently that's gone. It was what this person originally was responding. The original person tweets something. It apparently was removed for violating the Twitter rules. I don't know if it was a threat or what it was. That's not the definition at all. Is this what they mean when they talk about women being hysterical? Vaush, why do you do it? Dude, I'm sorry. Vaush and Destiny are so alike. And I know people hate it when I actually, I don't think I've ever said this before out loud, but Vaush and Destiny, when it comes to like having like the upper hand or being right about something, and they're just being like, how can I make this as difficult for me as physically possible? Vaush is like right there, you know? He learned from the master, man. Okay? As much as they hate each other, the similarities are obvious. Dylan, there's screenshots of the deleted tweet going around. Well, what is the deleted tweet? And this was my response to it, okay? Baghdad Bob, man. Gotta cover for him. Morally corrupt, bankrupt man. Ravigon, either way, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Crazy Joker 458. I appreciate that. Thank you, buddy. Intersectionality is when my fist meets your smug face. Oh, God, she's so sweet, isn't she? She is the creator of misandry, so I'm not that surprised, right? I mean, come on, guys. She did invent hating men. She is very good at that. Anyway, where were we? Oh yes, we were going to watch Vaush's appearance.
4-year-olds are lacking friends, intimate partners. They're feeling increasingly alienated from society. And when you look at statistics in regard to their education, whether or not they're working, more and more of this data reinforces that there is something awry. And addressing it doesn't mean that you turn.
Can I be clear? If this person ever met Vaush in person, she would be afraid to even approach him. The people who are the quickest to say this type of stuff are also the people who are like the least likely to throw down. Great example, Infrared, somebody who, you know, beat his chest a lot, but is absolutely unwilling to throw down or have a boxing match and will instead screech and whine. Just people who act really tough on the internet are also the ones who are the most, like, I don't know, unwilling to get physical.
Turn your back on issues pertaining to women, but it does mean that we should be focused on what it is in society that is leading to this epidemic, what the left can do to offer solutions, and how we can basically fight back against the more nefarious figures who.
Also, Vaush is a big guy. Like Vaush could like fall on Infrared and crush him, right? He's like a big guy. I've met him in person. He's like, I don't know, like 6'2" maybe? I don't know, he's a big guy.
Who have filled the void that, you know, men are struggling with, people like Jordan Peterson and what have you. Now, recently, Vaush, who's a popular streamer, had tweeted this thread that I think is really, really important to address. He writes, "I cannot stress enough how important it is to understand that 12-year-old white boys on Twitch are not being pulled into fascism because of some Machiavellian desire to preserve and expand their privileges. It's because the right talks to them and the left doesn't." He continues to argue that leftists and progressives have absolutely no idea how unnecessarily repellent they come off to so many people, and they get angry at the idea of being a more effective social movement because they don't want to share their social spaces with people who might have gone another way. But the criticism for leftists continue. And to be honest, I agree with a lot of what Vaush says here. He says leftists will write master's theses on the effect of socioeconomic conditions on crime, and then shrug when 10 million more young men fall into fascism because their boy brains must just be innately fascist and they choose to be evil. And there's no way this could have been prevented. And then the final tweet, because I want to make sure you guys get a full look at what he's thinking here. "This is always a good topic to feel smug."
I didn't even read it. Like,
the replies and quote tweets are saturated with people who literally think, quote, "We should care about men's problems and offer them advice" is a dog whistle for "we should build a Fourth Reich," thus proving the problem. Now, joining us today to talk about this is the man behind the Twitter thread, Vaush. And I want to thank you, Vaush, for taking some time to talk to us about this today.
Oh, it's an absolute delight. Don't mind the cam, by the way. Like young men, my camera encoder is alienated, just in this case from Skype. It's a pleasure to talk with you about this.
So this is something that I've been thinking about a lot because I've been just noticing it in the community around me, you know, just like the loneliness and how atomized men are. And I don't see it as, you know, addressing it isn't, in my opinion, a right-wing perspective or a right-wing task. I think that there are issues that the left would do a far better job.
It's crazy that Anna's sexist now, man. Oh my God, that's crazy, man. Anna and Vaush, man. Dominoes are falling. That original person though is like, actually, I don't know if they've like lost and gone off their rocker, but like, just like declaring Vaush wants women to be raped, or like that's what he's blaming women for, rape. Before saying I'll beat your fucking, like, your ass. Like, these are not people that are going to build effective social movements. These are schizophrenics who have gotten access to either somebody's phone or computer, who need to, you know, calm down
in addressing, as opposed to more nefarious right-wing figures like, let's say, Andrew Tate or Jordan Peterson. So before we get to all of that, what the potential solutions could be, talk to me about what you see, what you think the problem is right now with young men feeling alienated in the United States.
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to something leftists tend to be more comfortable talking about, which is toxic masculinity. You know, male loneliness is often an emergent property of toxic masculinity, which is, by the way, nobody likes this.
What is this? What is this? Who did this? God damn it, man. Even the Serbian femboys are still Serbian. Oh,
this term, right? The right gets really upset when you say toxic masculinity because it sounds like you're upset with masculinity in general, and it's a really vague term. So let's just say, I think a lot of guys can be kind of antisocial because they're taught that sort of independence is a masculine virtue. They're taught that, you know, there's value in keeping your feelings bottled up. Now, obviously, it's pretty harmful. It makes people feel kind of lonely. It makes them bad at reaching out to others, connecting, sharing their interests, building friendships. I think it's one of the reasons why guys tend to view dating as sort of adversarial, because they don't think of like a...
I just checked, and the person who posted that follows me on Twitter. Is this is not them though, is it? Oh no, they're... Oh my god, is that actually them? Why do they follow me on Twitter? Wait. No, it isn't. Okay. Okay, it isn't. Okay. Okay.
A woman is like, oh, you know, well, maybe we'll just get along on some shared interests. Maybe we'll have something in common. They think of it as this like a mating battle, which, you know, I don't think it has to be. And as a product of that, a lot of guys feel like they have no social inroads and they're kind of drifting through life without connections to people. It really sucks. And the left could, you know, use that as an opportunity to maybe improve some people's lives, introduce them to some other ideas.
So just full disclosure, you know, when the statistics first started coming out and they focused primarily on the lack of intimate partners, to be fair and completely honest with the audience, I was definitely more dismissive. But then when you see the other statistics, including the lack of friends, workforce participation for prime working age men between the ages of 25 and 55 has actually decreased significantly, and specifically in the United States. And so, you know, there have been some arguments that, oh, it's the advancement of technology, it's because of video games. Well, all of these technologies exist in other countries, and they're not experiencing the same decline in workforce participation. In fact, to give you a specific number from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, about 7 million prime working age men are not working and they're not looking for work. They're also self-medicating quite a bit. A huge portion of them have reported that they're taking painkillers daily. Deaths of despair are very prominent and pronounced among the male population versus the female population. These are huge issues. In fact, the Bureau of Labor Statistics also noted that when it comes to unemployment among working age men, we have a 1937 economy. Okay, and again, this is not happening in other rich developed countries, right? So there is a crisis happening, and I'm trying to figure out what is it exactly, right? The right wing will say, oh, it's feminism. It's because women don't want to stay at home and raise kids. They want to be independent. They don't want to enter, you know, romantic partnerships, blah, blah, blah. I don't buy that for a second. I do agree that some of the rhetoric is a problem, you know, statements about toxic masculinity, a lot of generalizing about people. I also think that there's a misconception that this is an issue that predominantly impacts white males, but that's actually not the case. The largest population that this impacts is actually Black men in America. And so this is a huge problem. And what do you think we need to say or frame, or how can we frame this issue so it's more palatable to the left, who, you know, generally do want to ensure that every community is looked after, that everyone feels that
maybe the men should stay home and take care of the kids. They would have something to do. No, but for real, what do you think it is? I actually wouldn't know what to say here. I mean, what is it actually? I'm trying to think. What would, like, if somebody had to, like, say, Dylan, what's the crisis with men in this country? I would say, like, I think, like, people say capitalism, but there's other capitalist countries that don't have these problems. Economic despair? I mean, yeah, I think a lot of it has to be economics. They find less, they find less meaningful relationships than ever before. Actually, yeah, maybe if men aren't getting married at a young age, then that could affect their desire to even seek work. That is possible, maybe. Am I the only one whose school would have had 1 to 2 assemblies every year, with only the woman who went to their schools telling how to and why they should go to college all through middle and high school? That's true. That could be it. They could be going to grad school more, but I feel like these are all unsatisfactory answers. I think the breakdown of old social norms around dating could negatively affect. True. It feels like the old social norms of dating have changed. That is true. But then, like, we haven't like accepted that change completely or equally, right? Where like, I feel like the idea of like the chase is highly discouraged, but I do also feel like I feel like the desire to get rid of the chase, like dating wise, has also led to men being afraid to approach women generally. I think confidence in young men is a huge issue at the moment. And I do not like giving dating advice because, again, I'm 21 years old. What could I possibly know about dating that you guys don't? But I would say that I think confidence in young men is a huge issue. I don't know how to exactly solve that. I know for me, organized boxing was a huge confidence builder. I don't know what confidence builder would be for other people.
But, you know, they're living a happy, prosperous life.
It's a tough sell. You know, people feel these issues in their gut. When we talk about the kinds of things that drive people out to vote or even to throw revolutions, we're usually talking about very basic gut level.
Phoenix, Dylan, should I hit my girlfriend or not? You know what? I will give dating advice this one time. Do not, only like in the Dana White situation. Did you guys see the Dana White situation? Oh my gosh, Dana White beat the shit out of his wife at some club. Did you guys see it? Oh my gosh, can we actually stop this for a moment to look at that? It is wild. 1 second. Dana White and wife fight in nightclub. Oh my goodness. Where is it? Here it is. What do you guys think of that? Oh my god. Yeah, that's pretty bad, man. That's bad. I don't know, beat the shit out of, that's true. He didn't beat the shit out of her, he hit her. Can I be honest though? I saw Alex Stein condemn this. He was like, this is horrible from Dana. I can't believe this. We don't know the full situation. First, we don't. But she also hit him. She also did hit him. And if I'm going to be completely honest, you do not put your hands on another person and you cannot be 100% confident they won't hit you back. Anytime you put your hands on another person, like you are rolling the dice on whether that person's going to hit you back. I don't care if it's your husband. I don't care if it's your brother. I don't care if it's anybody. You put your hands on another human being and you violated like what people like universally see as like their right to space. Like you have entered the arena. And I know a lot of people will say, well, Dylan, what about the difference in power? And I'm like, okay, I understand the concern about the difference in power, but that's something the person who swings should consider also, not just the person who swings back. If I walk up to a 6'9", just roided out giganto guy and I slap him, would you guys be like, well, there was a difference in power here. That guy shouldn't be able to punch Dylan. He shouldn't be able to punch back. No, because I'm a guy and nobody would give a fuck. But when it's a woman, I think people start to think, oh, well, that's different, you know? Not really. If you hit somebody, you've signed up for that. Sucks for you. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel that bad. I like for her. I don't think it, I can be like, oh, meh, maybe you shouldn't hit back, or I don't know if that's what I would have done in the situation, but I'm not gonna come out here and be like, oh, Dana White needs to be thrown in jail. She hit him, he hit back. I'm sorry if when we accept that gender relations has changed and it's no longer the chase anymore, and we're going for more equality. This applies to everyone, not just women, but men as well. You can't want all of the great things that men have had of the ability to go out and work and make something of yourself, freedom of expression, the ability to vote, and then also be like, but we still want all the privileges of being a woman. Like when you hit a man, he doesn't hit you back because of chivalry, and a chivalrous man doesn't hit women. That is you gotta, as the gender relations change, we need to realize that you put your hands on another human being, I don't care who you are, you're signing up for trouble. And if that person wants to cash the check that you just signed, honestly, it's your fucking fault. This has been Andrew Tate. This has been Andrew Tate's the podcast. Dylan's take is right, wrong, or violating normal theory. You put violating normal theory just so I'll get more wrong votes, you motherfuckers. My take is 100% right. Now I believe in my take more than ever. Dana White should have a statue made of him outside the fucking White House at the moment when he swung back. Okay, kidding. But of course this is the correct thing. Are you guys actually saying that if you saw a woman beating the fuck out of somebody, let's say that, what's the line for you if not punching or slapping someone? What's the line for you then? Right? If I was on stream right now and a woman who I said was my girlfriend came in and fucking just went bam, socked me, do I just gotta be like, oh no, stop, no, and let her abuse me? Is that really the take? Is that the hot spicy take I'm gonna have my audience sign up for actually? I know people talk about women abuse victims, and they are the majority of abuse victims, and they need to be protected. They are victims. Men can be abused too, physically and sexually, and in many ways, but physically too, and they can be abused by women. You know how many times I've heard from men that I know of psycho girlfriends who've tried to stab them, tried to claw their eyes out and beat them, that they're scared of because they don't want to swing back and they don't want to be the abusive boyfriend because that's the type of manipulative person that they are. And again, best thing to do is try to avoid these situations entirely, but you put your hands on another person, you are writing the check that's going to be cashed by Dana White's right hand. Period. Use of force continuum is a thing. Minimal use of force continuum is a thing. Minimal force necessary to neutralize whatever threat is being faced. I'm not saying you beat the woman half to death, but she hits you, you can hit her back 100%. That's just equal rights and equal fights. 100%. In this situation, let's look at what Dana did actually, right? Boom. He let's be for real. He didn't even clock her. I said beating the shit out of her earlier. That was not a fair representation at all. Look, he 1/10 of a slap, and then he pushes her away, and she tries to drag him down. She swings at him again. Then she starts throwing shit at him. Right? He did not go overboard here. He didn't. Should women be forced to sign up for the draft? If we have a draft, absolutely. Yes. Yes, why not? The majority of them might not be serving like frontline combat roles, but we need people working logistics. We need pencil pushers. We need drone operators. What do you mean? Yeah, absolutely. Like, what do you mean? Like, either no draft or everyone is on the draft. As long as you're able-bodied, yes. Anyway. This is like my easiest take. I don't know how the no votes got, dude, 153. No, for violating normality. There's 63 no votes in there. I don't know who did that, but like, I hope you never get into like an abusive relationship with a woman and they're beating the shit out of you and you're just gonna have to stand there and be treated like a piece of shit. Like, I don't like, you're just like beaten and bruised and fucked up. You know, it's just stabbing your ass in the arm and you're just like, well, you know, Actually, somebody just said, I thought that was Destiny. Destiny actually had the same issue too when he was in an abusive relationship. Like, I have a weird feeling that a lot of you guys would feel a little differently if you found out this was like your younger brother or your family member that was getting beaten by some woman. But because it's like Dana White or somebody else, you're gonna be like, oh no. And trust me, I'm not a fan of Dana White's politics. He's like a Trump guy. But like, you have a right to defend yourself. And like, Dana White is not like a weak guy, right? Like, Dana White is a strong guy. And some people really think you can fuck with strong people, especially if there are women who think like, oh, there's a strong guy, so we would never push back, so I can do whatever I want, you know? That's not good at all. That's not okay at all. So yes, I believe men can swing back. I don't think you should beat the shit out of her or like go overboard, but whatever's necessary to end the confrontation and protect yourself, absolutely. Absolutely. The Chihuahua effect, that's what it's called. Thank you, Momo. I appreciate that. Okay, who agree? I need to pull chat. I need to know. I need to make a list of all the based and unbased people. I'm kidding, of course. Post a 1 if you agree with me. Post a 2 if you disagree with me. I want to see the chat. I'm curious. Damn, you guys are kind of like somewhat down the middle in gutter chat. But look at site chat, all ones. See, that's because Blue Rider Neptune ruined it. But they were all ones. It shows that site chat once again are of a higher quality. A higher class. If you type DYLANBORNS.TV, you are enjoying the chat. You are of a higher standard. You are of my aristocracy. Yes, that's what we should call it. My aristocracy.